Hey there, amazing people. I'm thrilled to have you here today. Welcome, friends, to our video dedicated to Rohrbach, Rhein-Hunsrück. Let's dive right in and uncover its wonders. Rohrbach is a municipality belonging to a kind of collective municipality in the Rhein-Hunsrück-Kreis district in Rhineland-Palatinate, Germany. It belongs to the Verbandsgemeinde of Kirchberg, whose seat is in the like-named town. As we move forward, let's uncover the untold stories and fascinating intricacies of location. The municipality lies on the Selssoon, a plateau forming part of the Hunsrück, roughly 6 km south of Kirchberg. Currently there are about 200 inhabitants. The municipal area measures 3.76 km, of which 86 ha is wooded. Its greatest elevation is 387 m above sea level. As we move forward, let's uncover the untold stories and fascinating intricacies of name. The municipality's name comes from the reed bed fragmites, the common reed, called Schilfroh in German, that once grew along the edge of the like-named brook, Bock in German, the Rohrbach. As we enter this new phase, let's navigate the complexities of history and discover its practical applications. It is believed that Rohrbach was founded in the early 11th century. Its first documentary mention dates from 27 September 1304 and is found in the compilations of the archives kept by the Counts of Sponheim. The report of a session in Dill reads thus: Warham Count of Zweibrücken and Ruprecht Count of Wernigerberg decide as chosen arbiters between Johann Advisor of the Knights of Heinrich Lord of Sponheim, Johann von Braunschorn, on the following point of dispute because of the forbidden wine order of avoidance of wine at Rohrbach. Wannenweiler and Dickenschied, the Seneschal Gottfried of Enkirch and Conrad of Matzben shall hold a hearing of the subjects and officials. Sealed by Simon and Johann, Counts of Sponheim, Ulrich Lord of Hanna and Ludwig Count of Rieneck. Two further documentary mentions came in 1317 and 1340. In the former document, Count Emich of Sponheim, Archdeacon of the Diocese of Liege and titular parish priest at Kirchberg, endowed benefice in 10 villages to maintain chaplains. In the latter document, Johann of Town transferred to the Knight of Steinerwald Graviel fief, the so-called torsing at a circular or elliptical shape of Rohrbach. Rohrbach may have belonged to the county of Sponheim from the time of its founding. Nonetheless, this ended when the House of Sponheim died out in 1437 and the village passed to the Counts of Veldens and the Margraves of Baden. Through marriage, the Veldens' inheritance passed to the Counts Palatine of Zweibrücken. About 1600, the southern part of Rohrbach belonged, along with 6 Hintersassen roughly dependent peasants, to the further county of Sponheim and, locally, to the Amt of Dill, while the northern part belonged to the Badische Oberamt of Kirchberg. The boundary between these two territories was the village's namesake brook itself, the Rohrbach. Until 1707, the Counts Palatine and the Margraves ruled the county together. Then, the Margraves became the sole rulers of the Oberamt of Kirchberg and thereby Rohrbach's landholders. In October 1794, the village, along with all German lands on the Rhine's left bank, passed to France. Administration then no longer came from Kirchberg, but rather from the Mayoralty of Gmunden. After Napoleonic times, the village was assigned in 1815 to Prussia, and more locally to the Rhine province. Since 1946, Rohrbach has been part of the then newly founded state of Rhineland-Palatinate. In the course of administrative restructuring in Rhineland-Palatinate, various former Ämter were merged in 1971, and Rohrbach, along with the Amt of Gmunden, was assigned to the Verbandsgemeinde of Kirchberg. The greatest rise in Rohrbach's population came about the turn of the 19th century. From 59 villagers in 12 families in 1781, the number of inhabitants grew to 99 in 20 families by 1798, and 207 people by 1840. As we progress through this video, let's now turn our gaze towards religion. The church built in 1791 belongs to the evangelical parish, which counts 126 parishioners. The parish, which belongs to the Simon Trobik Church district, was from the Reformation in 1557 until 1766 partially tied to the evangelical parish of Dickenshead, and has been once again since 1963. This means that although Rohrbach is a parish in its own right, the minister at Dickenshead is also responsible for the parish of Rohrbach. Catholics, who make up about 1/5 of the population, have the right to celebrate Mass at the evangelical church, which they do especially when there is a funeral or wedding ceremony to be performed. The church building measures 12.85 m, 7.55 m. The furnishings inside pews, gallery, altar are still the ones from the time of building. The pulpit, on the other hand, is older than the church itself, having been made in 1701 in nearby Mengershead. In keeping with the Reformed tradition, the presbyter's seating is found opposite the congregation and the pulpit in the apse. The baptismal basin and the chalice come from about 1800. 2 bronze bells had to be surrendered in the First World War. Today 2 steel bells, poured in 1923, can be found in the ridge turret. These were given a bronze inside lining in 2002. Prepare yourself for an eye-opening discussion on municipal council in the upcoming portion of this video. The council is made up of 6 council members, who were elected by majority vote at the municipal election held on 7 June 2009, and the honorary mayor as chairman. Now, we shift our focus to mayor, a topic that deserves our attention. Rohrbach's mayor is Jutta Heck-Buren. In the next segment, we'll be exploring coat of arms and its implications for our subject matter. The municipality's arms might, in English heraldic language, be described thus: purple or bend gulls and azure bend sinister wavy, a base argent issuant from which 2 reeds, each leafed of 3 and fructed of the first. The composition on the dexter arms bearer's right, viewer's left side is the arms formerly borne by the Margraviate of Baden, a former landholder in Rohrbach. The composition on the sinister arms bearer's left, viewer's right side is canting for the municipality's name, Rohrbach, which literally means reed brook. With that being said, let's now move on to buildings. The following are listed buildings or sites in Rhineland-Palatinate's Directory of Cultural Monuments: Evangelical Church, Hauptstraße 10, Early Classicist Isolist Church, 1791. Whole complex of buildings with surrounding field, Gartenfeld, 3 timber frame greenhouse, a combination residential and commercial house divided for these 2 purposes down the middle, perpendicularly to the street, partly slated, 19th century Hallgarten, 2 timber frame house, first third of the 19th century Hauptstraße 1 building with hipped mansard roof, timber framing slated, earlier half of the 19th century. Whole complex of buildings with barn, Hauptstraße 15 bakehouse, timber frame building, partly solid or slated, 1840 Holwig 1 timber frame greenhouse with knee wall, 19th century. In the following section, we'll be immersing ourselves in the captivating world of clubs. 4 clubs involve themselves in village life: the Evangelical Women's Aid, Evangelische Frauenhilfe in Deutschland, a music club, the Country Women's Association, Deutsche Landfrauenverband, and the Fire Brigade. Now, let's shift our perspective and explore films made in Rohrbach from a different angle. In 1958, the film Schinderhannes, in which, among others, Kurt Jürgens, Ria Skell, Siegfried Lauertz, and many Rohrbachers appeared, was made in Rohrbach under Helmut Kuttner's direction. In 1981 and 1982, the indoor scenes of Haus Simon in the first part of the Heimat series were made in Rohrbach. The house where this was done, Soest, had already been chosen for the film Schinderhannes. As we enter this new chapter, let's navigate the complexities of economy and infrastructure and unravel its multifaceted nature. Formerly, most of the inhabitants earned their living at agriculture or slate mining. There were several craft businesses: locksmith, smith, cobbler, and wainwright. Also, there were shepherd and a swineherd. However, young people were always having to move away to places like the Saar or the Ruhr area to find work. As of 2006, there are only 4 full-time farmers, and 2 more who work the land as a sideline. There were still 10 full-time farming operations in 1966 and several operated as a sideline. As well as these concerns, there are a cattle trading business, a timber forwarder, a pottery and woodwork shop, a pedicurist, a guide dog trainer and a general service business. Nevertheless, commuters are the majority, working in the surrounding area. There were once several bakehouses in Rohrbach, in which families baked their bread. One is still sometimes used as a bakehouse. The rest of the time, it serves, as in neighboring villages, as a gathering place where the music club or the church choir can practice, or the village youth can meet. Share this video with your friends and spread the knowledge.